That Globe game was so much back and forth. I mean, we were ahead by 1 at the end of the first. We were down 4 at halftime, and we were up 4 going into the third. It was just back and forth. They had some good athletes. Our athletes stepped up and played well. But in that final, last half of the fourth quarter, our kind of senior leadership with Cody and Dakota and Ever just took over and said, we're not going to lose this game.
And that begins the Swanson era of the Longhorn basketball.
We played Chino the next night, had another win there where we kind of, slugged it out a little bit, and we ended up winning by 17 that game. And then, of course, we went up to the Winslow tournament where we didn't really know what to expect. We played 2 res schools in Ganado and Hopi and took care of both of them. And then we matched up with Winslow, the team that kicked our butts the week before. We matched up with them in the semifinals of their own tournament, and we played a wonderful game, played great defense that day, and our guys just didn't want to lose. They wanted to prove to those guys and everybody that we are not the same team that we were that first game against Winslow. After that, we played Blue Ridge in the championship, one of our region rivals, and after a long 4 days or 3 days of playing, both teams were pretty sluggish and slow, but we ended up playing real well defensively, won that. And I was just real proud of how the guys played. It was just a great week of basketball. We played 6 games in 6 days, and we were fortunate enough and we worked hard enough to come out with wins in all 6 of them.
Watch me as I dance under the spotlight. Listen to the people screaming out more and more, 'cause I create the feeling that keep them coming back. Yeah, I create the feeling that keep them coming back. So captivating when I get it on the floor. Know y'all been patiently waiting. I know you need me. I can feel it. I'm a beast. I'm an animal. I'm that monster in the mirror. The headliner, finisher. I'm the closer, winner. Best one under pressure with seconds left for sure. If you really want more, scream it out louder. Get on the floor, bring out the fire, and light it up, take it up higher. Gonna push it to the limit, give it
No one likes Fountain Hills in Payson. That's them, and Snowflake is probably one of our biggest rivals. And we came out to play.
He had 4 points, 4 of our first 8 points or something, and we were leading by 8 or 10 points right away there in the first quarter.
And I just went up for a layup,
And he came down on his ankle wrong.
and got a hairline fracture, stress fracture on my ankle. I came out, the trainer looked at it and he said, "You're not going to be coming in for the rest of the game."
The team had to keep moving on. We struggled a little bit that game as far as our inside presence. Cody Waterman picked up the slack.
But when Dakota went down, it was a whole different role for me, because I had to like be the big man and one of the rebounds and take Dakota's place.
Cody had 17 rebounds that game along with his 22 points and kept it close. We ended up losing to Fountain Hills.
I was like, this can't be happening senior year. It's just really frustrating.
I didn't think he'd be out as long as he was, missing all the 7 games in January, all those region games. We're just hoping Dakota gets back here. He's starting to do rehab, this and that, and then all of a sudden Cody, boom, goes down. He's out for 3 games. So it's just, one of those things that we're just like, let's go, kind of just trying to get through. And we struggled losing a few close games there. We lost a couple blowout games, but our guys didn't give up. Ever, who he got knocked on the floor so many times during the season and played so many minutes, and I'm surprised that he didn't get hurt. That Snowflake game was a great one with our full team. I mean, because our guys all played well. Everybody seemed to know their role. Snowflake came in here probably thinking they were going to beat us like they did last time, and we came back here and got a great win. We just struggled to really extend that and jump on that, which I was hoping we really would. I thought that was going to kind of take us into, you know, the next couple weeks and into the playoffs on a high. The rivalry between Payson and Blue Ridge is huge. No matter what sport it is, you always want to beat Blue Ridge. We played up there, and they had a packed house. It was an unbelievable team effort where, you know, I think nobody scored over 12 points. Eber had 12 points and 6 assists. Dakota had 8 points, 10 rebounds. Cody had 5 points, 5 rebounds, 6 assists. And some of those younger guys, Chase had 6 points, Tanner had 8 points, Kale had 10 points. It was a collective group effort. They had a chance to seal up at the region championship, just the regular season, and we took that away from them. Round Valley snuck in front of them because they lost to us. It was a huge win for our guys, and we definitely deserved to win that night. The home game, the last game of the season here, the home game here, we just couldn't get anything going. I mean, their guard, that Nashio kid, was just unbelievable. Now the region game over there was, you know, pretty crazy. There was a lot of people there. The place is a great place to play basketball. We went in, we struggled the first half. I think we were down 12 or 13 points at halftime. You know, we just, I mean, me and the other coaches just stressed the guys, don't quit, don't stop, you know, hit some big shots, played better defense in the second half, and I think it was, I'm pretty sure it was down to 1 point with less than a minute and a half to go. And we had a couple stupid turnovers and let them get a couple easy baskets, and that's how it ended at 5. But I mean, the resilience of our guys in that fourth quarter really, you know, showed us that, you know, yeah, sure, this is the end of our season, but you know, this is what it takes to win. So I hope all those young players took from that, wow, I really need to work a lot harder. And every minute I'm out on the court, every play, offensively and defensively, I need to make sure that I'm playing my hardest. Coming into the season, I had heard, oh, you have a very good point guard coming back, you know, makes good decisions, good passes. But I mean, as far as what we got out of Eber, I was just amazed. I mean, he was pretty solid, scored 8, 10, 12 points the first 7, 8 games this season. When Dakota went down and Cody got hurt, I mean, Eber was always there.
Cody was our other ball handler, so it's kind of hard being the only ball handler out there. Had a lot of turnovers, but happens. But it was a tough time both of them were out.
I mean, he had a couple games where he had, you know, over 25 points. The one that comes to mind is the Chino Valley game in overtime over at the Bradshaw Mountain Tournament. Cody fouled out in regulation.
Close game throughout. Ended up hitting a 3 to tie the game, and then we ended up winning in overtime.
So it was Eber essentially with freshmen and sophomores out there. And Eber kind of just said, I'm going to take over and I'm going to win. I mean, you could see it. He wasn't going to let the game get out of hand. He wasn't going to let us lose.
Blue Ridge at home. I think I had around 20-something points. But that was probably the best game. We ended up losing. But no, everything was just falling that night for some reason.
I mean, and it was great. I mean, like I said before, if we went to have him, it would have been a totally different season as well. So I mean, he was the catalyst of our team, both offensively and defensively. We had a tough time taking him off the court. I mean, we had to leave him on there all the time. You know, Cody's the kind of kid that some games he missed some of his shots and got down on himself. We just try to keep picking him up, and then those games where he wasn't missing, boy, he was fun to watch. I mean, he could hit from anywhere on the court, makes his free throws, could rebound. He had a couple 15, 16 rebound games. He had a couple 6, 7, 8 assist games where he was the all-around player for us as far as he could score, he could rebound. He worked hard on both ends of the court, made some good decisions, you know, all the time. He had led the team in block shots, led the team in steals. I mean, he was everywhere. I mean, we really, you know, it's unfortunate he missed those 3 games during the middle of the season, but as a whole, he had a great season too. I mean, his numbers, he averaged around 15 points a game. I think 6 or 7 rebounds a game, you know, 2-3 steals, 2-3 assists, 2-3
block shots. I mean, he had a great year too. So I'm hoping that he'll have a chance to move on and go play college basketball somewhere. Dakota's the kind of kid that works hard and he's really competitive. And that's what I loved about him from the first day I met him. I could see in open gym that he didn't like losing. He got upset. He got upset at himself. He got upset at his teammates when they weren't performing to their peak potential. We saw some great things from Dakota at the beginning of the year.
I think I had really good games during the beginning of the season. Coming out really strong, just played hard.
He had a 21 rebound game there before he went down. He had a couple 17, 18 rebound games. In his 16 games that he played, he averaged, I think, 11 points and 12 and a half rebounds this year. I mean, if that would have been during the whole season, we could have been a much different team. Another player who stepped up all season was Cale Novak. We relied on him quite a bit, especially when Dakota went out to get in there and rebound. He had a couple games where he had double-digit rebounds, close to it. Had a couple games where he scored 10, 12 points.
I like to score, but it's not the most important thing to me. I like playing defense and rebounding too.
We matched him up on a lot of variety of players. He scored a lot of rebound baskets, got to the line a lot. He's another one of those players that we expected to work hard. And he did work hard for the majority of the time. And he's a young kid. He's only a sophomore, so we're going to expect even more. I mean, the bar is going to be raised higher for all those younger players next season, and we're going to expect them to come and show us a lot more. We didn't know what to expect with some of those young guys, specifically with our two freshman guys, Chase Walden and Tanner Hinsey. I mean, we saw some great things from them. And Chase had a great year. I mean, he really did. I mean, we didn't know what we were going to expect with it or get with him. He stepped up and had some great games. He had a couple games where he had double-digit rebounds. He scored 22 in our last game over the Bradshaw Mountain Tournament. I mean, I wouldn't have expected him to score 22 in a game, varsity game this season.
My best games were on defense and rebounding. Scoring will come. That game it came more than the others, but I like playing defense and rebounding.
He was one of those kids that really listened. He wanted to get better. He took everything seriously. He was upset when we lost. He, really took it seriously. So I only see good things from him. As far as Tanner, I mean, the sky's the limit for Tanner. I mean, really, he's got some great skills.
Now we know more what to expect at the varsity level, and it just boosts our confidence because we can see that we can hang with these guys.
He's a good young player. He loves basketball. He wants to get better. He's been talking to me about going to a camp already this summer he wants to go to get better. As a coach, you can't ask for much more than kids who want to get better, who want to listen, and want to be on a winning team. Trey was a good player, especially to have, in practice, Trey did a great job of going against Eber every day, and it was good for both of them to have some good pressure on him. We knew he could do a good job bringing the ball up the court against some presses, relieving Eber. Maradi had a great year. I mean, we called on him in certain situations, came up, had some great games in varsity, especially when Dakota was out. He's one of those kind of players that is just kind of slides off of guys and can always score. He's always in the right spot. He gets the ball inside. Great shot fake. Guys go for a shot fake. He steps under and scores. I look for big things out of Justin next year too. I mean, he's got the experience this year. He'll be a definitely important part of our team this season. Blazer, there's a couple games we had Blazer start for us, and he did a good job. Just his energy off the bench. That's what we wanted him to do. Come in and bring the high energy, and he did. Jambo had some real nice games at the beginning of the season, alongside Dakota. With Cody in there, Chamber was kind of another garbage guy for us. I told him at the beginning of the year, you're going to have to play defense and rebound. Unfortunately, he didn't get as much time towards the end of the season, but when we did put him in, he worked hard and did a very good job as far as he went in there, got some rebounds, and went flying over people's backs. He wanted the basketball in his hands. So he did a great job, and I was pleased with how, his effort and his attitude for the most part of the year. Andrew's got some good talent. He really does. He can shoot the ball well. He plays pretty good defense. He just needs more court time, so we had him play some JV towards the end, which was a great help to him. It helped his confidence. Andrew definitely has a lot of potential. He can be a great player here. Hopefully he puts in the time in the offseason. He'll be able to get some quality minutes next season for sure. Russ is a great guy to have on the team. I mean, even when there was times where I was upset or mad or whatever about anything, he always, of course, had to throw a comment in to get everybody to smile, whether I wanted to smile or not. So Russ is a great kid. You know, he's got good athletic ability. He played some varsity, got some varsity minutes. He played some JV. You know, just getting him on the court. I mean, get some more playing time. I think he could be an instrumental part of our team next year too. Jamie did a very good job in practice. I mean, he's a big body, he's a strong kid. He was a very important part of our senior group as well. Oakley, I mean, he's one of those kids that has, you know, he has the potential for sure to be a big-time success as a high school athlete as a whole. He played a handful of varsity games and did a very good job, so we were very pleased. I was very lucky to have a great coaching staff. I couldn't have lucked out more as far as having you know, Byron Quinlan, Scott Novak, Joe Sanchez, Randy Pryor, and then Ryan Hinsey even helped out down there with the freshmen and the varsity. You know, those guys, I couldn't have asked for any more as far as the experience and the attitude, and you know, we were all on the same page the whole season. Very competitive coaching staff.
We still definitely have a lot of work ahead of us, but I think the fact that we did get a lot of young kids in the lineup and even the starting lineup, I think that should bode well for us in the future.
We got to get the younger guys to see what's necessary to move up to the next step. You know, hopefully this summer we're going to get a lot of those young guys working and going and playing defense and learning at how much intensity is involved at the varsity level.
I definitely see a bright future. I mean, we have played some young guys. I'm sad to see our seniors go. I wish they could play another year with us with the improving young players. But I'm excited to look forward into the future. It'll be, it should be fun to see how these guys progress over the next couple seasons.